April 1945, a German farm near the Czech border. Patton's Third Army was racing east, liberating towns, accepting surrenders, closing in on the end. A scout patrol smelled something, not death, something else, human, living but wrong. They followed it to a barn, large, old, doors padlocked from the outside. Inside, they heard movement, shuffling, a cough, then a voice, weak, American accent. "Is someone out there?" The soldiers broke the lock, pulled open the doors. The smell hit them like a wall. Inside were 43 American soldiers, captured during the Battle of the Bulge, locked in this barn since December. 4 months. In the dark, in their own filth. Some could barely stand, others couldn't see. The light hurt their eyes. They'd been given water, sometimes food, barely, enough to keep them alive, nothing more. The German farmer who owned the barn was standing nearby, watching, waiting to see what the Americans would do. Patton arrived 2 hours later. What he said would become the reason that farmer never forgot that day. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe. We tell the stories about World War II that show what happened when evil met justice. The scout patrol was led by Sergeant Tom Riley, 28 years old, Brooklyn. He'd been fighting since Normandy, thought he'd seen everything the war could throw at him. He was wrong. His patrol was sweeping the area around a small German farm. Standard procedure: make sure no enemy soldiers were hiding. Secure the zone before the main force moved through. That's when Riley smelled it. Not the smell of death. He knew that smell, knew it too well. This was different. Living humans, but something wrong, something sick. He followed his nose to the barn, large structure, old wood, solid. Doors were closed, heavy padlock on the outside. Riley stopped, listened. Inside, he heard something. Movement, shuffling. Then a cough, wet, sick. Then a voice, weak, but unmistakably American. "Is someone out there?" Riley's heart stopped. "This is the U.S. Army. Who's in there?" Silence. Then, "Americans. We're Americans. Prisoners. Please, get us out." Riley didn't hesitate. He shot the padlock off with his rifle. The sound echoed across the farm. He grabbed the door, pulled it open. The smell hit him like a fist. Human waste, infection, unwashed bodies, despair. 4 months of men slowly rotting in the dark. Riley turned his head, threw up in the dirt. Couldn't help it. His men behind him were gagging, covering their faces. But inside the barn something was moving. Shapes in the darkness. Men, crawling toward the light. The first one to reach the door was an officer. Captain's bars barely visible on his filthy uniform. He tried to stand, couldn't. His legs buckled. Riley caught him. The man weighed nothing. Skin and bones. The captain looked up, squinting against the daylight. His eyes were unfocused, struggling to adjust. "Captain Robert Chen, 106th Infantry Division." His voice cracked, "requesting medical assistance for my men." Then he started crying. Couldn't stop. 4 months of holding it together, being strong, keeping his men alive. Now it all broke. "How many?" Riley asked. 43. We're 43. Behind Chen, more men were emerging, crawling, stumbling, blinking against the sun like moles pulled from underground. One soldier couldn't walk at all, came out on his hands and knees. His name was Danny Morrison, private, 19 years old, Ohio farm boy. He kept blinking, rubbing his eyes. "I can't see. Why can't I see?" Riley knelt beside him. "How long you been in there, son?" "Since December. We were captured during the Bulge. They brought us here, locked us in. I haven't seen daylight since Christmas. 4 months, in total darkness." Morrison's eyes had adjusted to the black. Now the April sun was blinding him. Maybe temporary, maybe permanent. Another man came out, older, Master Sergeant. Name was Frank Kowalski, 35. He'd kept the men organized, rationed what little food came, made sure the weakest got water first. Kowalski's face was bruised. Old injuries, healed wrong. "We tried to escape, first week. They caught 3 of us. Beat me in front of the others. After that, he didn't finish." Riley got on the radio, voice shaking. "Command Scout 7. We found Americans, POWs, 43, locked in a barn, condition critical. Need immediate medical evacuation." The response crackled back. "Scout 7, secure location. General Patton is en route." Riley looked around. His men were pulling POWs out, giving them water. The men drank desperately. Some threw it up immediately. Stomachs couldn't handle it after months of near starvation. Then Riley saw the farmhouse, 50 yards away, clean, well-maintained, smoke rising from the chimney. Someone was home. Someone had been home this whole time. A German man stood in the doorway, watching. 60 years old maybe, weathered face, farmer's build. Riley walked toward him, slow, controlled, fighting the urge to run, to attack. "You speak English?" "Yes, some." "Those men, in your barn, you knew they were there?" The farmer nodded. "We brought them. December, told me to keep them, give water, some bread. I follow orders." "Some bread, 4 months, 43 men." The farmer said nothing. Riley pointed at the house. "You have food in there?" "Some." "Enough." "Enough. You ate every day. Warm house, full stomach. And 20 meters away, American soldiers were starving in your barn." "I followed Wehrmacht orders." Riley stepped closer. Close enough to smell the man. "Soap, clean clothes, well-fed. The Wehrmacht isn't here anymore, hasn't been for weeks probably, but you kept them locked up. Why?" The farmer's expression didn't change. "They are enemy. That was it. Simple, cold. They were the enemy, so they deserved to suffer." Riley wanted to hit him, wanted to drag him into that barn, lock him inside, see how he liked it. But the medics were arriving, trucks pulling up, soldiers jumping out with stretchers and medical supplies. The POWs were in bad shape. Severe dehydration, malnutrition, infections from lying in filth for months. Some had frostbite damage. The barn had no heat. Winter in Germany. They'd nearly frozen. Captain Chen was on a stretcher, an IV already in his arm. He grabbed the medic's wrist. "My men first. Check my men first. I'm fine." He wasn't fine. None of them were fine. Chen had lost over 40 pounds. His body was eating itself, muscle wasting, organ damage starting. Private Morrison, the kid who couldn't see, kept asking the same question. "Is this real? Are we really out? This isn't a dream?" The medic treating him had tears running down his face. "Yeah, son. You're out. You're going home." Morrison broke down, sobbing. Relief mixed with terror. What if his eyes didn't heal? What if he'd go home blind? Then Patton's jeep arrived. Riley saw the 4 stars, stood at attention, saluted. Patton stepped out. Looked at the barn, at the POWs being loaded onto trucks, at the German farmer standing by his house. His jaw tightened, face went hard. He walked to the barn first, stepped inside, stood there for 30 seconds, just looking, taking it in. The straw on the floor, filthy, wet with waste. The corner where men had been forced to relieve themselves. The walls, scratch marks, men counting days, trying to hold on to sanity. Patton walked back out, found Riley. "Report, Sergeant." "Sir, 43 American POWs, captured during the Battle of the Bulge, December, held here in this barn for 4 months. The German farmer claims Wehrmacht ordered him to keep them locked up." "Claims." "Yes, sir." "Where is he?" Riley pointed. The farmer was still by his house, frozen, watching Patton with growing fear. Patton walked toward him, boots crunching gravel, slow, deliberate, predator approaching prey. The farmer straightened up, trying to look dignified. Patton stopped 3 feet away, looked him up and down, clean clothes, healthy weight, comfortable. "You speak English?" "Yes, Herr General." "Don't. You're not a soldier. Soldiers follow laws of war. What are you?" The farmer swallowed. "I am Otto Brandt. This is my farm." "Your farm, your barn. My men locked inside for 4 months. You fed them? Some bread, water, when Wehrmacht allowed." "When Wehrmacht allowed. Show me your house." Brand hesitated, then nodded, led Patton inside. The house was warm, clean. Kitchen had food, not luxury, but abundance. Bread, cheese, vegetables, preserves, sacks of grain. Patton opened the pantry, shelves stocked, smoked meats, pickled vegetables, potatoes, enough to feed a family for months. He turned to Brandt, voice cold. "When Wehrmacht allowed, you're a liar. I gave what I could. You gave nothing. Wehrmacht hasn't been here for weeks. You kept them locked in that barn because you wanted to, because they were Americans, because you could." Brandt's face reddened. "They are enemy. They bomb our cities, kill our people." Patton stepped closer, inches from Brandt's face. "They are prisoners of war, protected under Geneva Convention. You kept them in a barn, like animals, starved them, left them to rot. That's a war crime. I followed orders. From who? Wehrmacht is gone. You followed your own hate, your own cruelty. Brandt looked away, couldn't meet Patton's eyes. Patton turned to the MP outside. Take him to the barn. Lock him inside. He gets water twice a day, bread once a day, same as he gave my men. The MP nodded, grabbed Brandt's arm. Brandt pulled back. How long? 4 months. Same as my men. Brandt's eyes went wide. I am 60 years old. I cannot survive. My men were 19, 25. They survived. You will too, or you won't. Either way, justice. They dragged him toward the barn. Brandt was screaming, in German, then English, begging, promising he didn't know, claiming he had no choice. Patton watched, expressionless, until the barn door closed, until the lock clicked. Then he walked to the medical trucks, found Captain Chen. Chen was on a stretcher, IV in his arm, medic wrapping his feet, frostbite damage, toes black, might need amputation. The cold barn floor had slowly killed his extremities over 4 months. Patton knelt beside him. Captain. Chen's eyes focused. Recognition. Then shame. He tried to sit up. Couldn't. Too weak. Stay down, son. You did your job. Kept your men alive. 43 men. That's command. That's leadership. Chen's lip trembled, voice breaking. Sir, we tried to escape. First week we were here. 3 of us. Sergeant Kowalski led it. We got maybe 100 meters before they caught us. He paused, remembering. They made us watch. Made all of us watch while they beat Kowalski. Rifle butts. Boots. They broke his ribs. His arm. We heard the bones crack. Patton's jaw tightened. Chen continued. After that, we didn't try again. We just focused on surviving. 1 more day. Then another. I kept telling the men someone would come. I kept saying it. But after 3 months, his voice broke. After 3 months, I stopped believing it myself. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry we gave up hope. You didn't give up. You're alive. You kept them alive. That's not giving up. That's fighting. We should have fought harder. Should have. Captain. Patton's voice firm. You were prisoners. Held illegally. Tortured. War crime victims. You have nothing to apologize for. Nothing. You understand me. Chen nodded, tears running down his face. The farmer, sir? Brandt? What happens to him? Patton looked toward the barn. The door was closed now, locked. Brandt inside. 1 week in his barn. Same conditions he gave you. Then War Crimes Tribunal. They'll decide final punishment. Chen was quiet for a moment, then asked softly, Is 1 week enough, sir? Or does it make us like him? Patton studied this captain, this skeletal man who'd been tortured for 4 months, now asking for mercy for his torturer, still holding on to humanity despite everything. 1 week, then justice, not revenge, justice. The trucks left, carrying the POWs to field hospitals, then home. Most recovered physically, weight returned, infections healed, but some damage was permanent. Private Morrison's sight never fully returned. 4 months in darkness had damaged his eyes irreversibly. He saw shapes, light and shadow, but not faces. He adapted, went home to Ohio. Never complained. Sergeant Kowalski's hip never healed right from the beating. 3 surgeries failed. He walked with a cane until he died in 1962. Constant pain. His wife said he never really left that barn. Captain Chen had nightmares for 50 years, woke up screaming, convinced he was back in the darkness, locked in, forgotten. He never slept without a light on again. But they were alive. Home. Otto Brandt spent 1 week in his barn. When released, he couldn't stand without help. Lost 15 pounds, covered in filth. War crimes trial lasted 3 weeks. His defense, following Wehrmacht orders. The tribunal didn't buy it. Wehrmacht had been gone for weeks. Brandt kept them locked on his own. Verdict, guilty. 12 years hard labor. His farm became a refugee center. The barn was demolished in 1947, burned, ashes scattered. Patton never officially reported it. Just another liberation. But for 43 men, it was everything. Someone had come. Someone had delivered justice, not just liberation. Accountability. Would you have done the same? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more stories about World War II and the moments when justice was delivered, make sure to subscribe.